Hey guys, that song you just heard was Almost Paradise by T-Max, and it's a song from the Korean television show Boys Over Flowers, which is the subject of this layout video. I'm going to be using the Heidi Swapp Sugar Chic collection, and I'm going to be doing a little basic chalkboard art as well. So I'm going to be cutting this F and this 4 from the Stardust font from QuicKutz, and I'm going to use that as a template to do some chalkboard art. This is chalkboard paper, and I have a chalkboard pen, and I'm tracing the letters onto the chalkboard paper with a chalkboard marker. And then I'm going to peel the letters up and fill them in kind of scribbly like so that they look like they've been drawn on a blackboard. The setting of this television show is a school, so that's why I wanted to include some chalkboard art. And once I've scribbled in the insides, I got a little bit outside the lines in a couple places, so I'm just going to go all the way around the whole thing again to thicken that outside line to cover any areas where I got outside the lines. And then I'm going to use Spellbinder's Labels 16 to cut this out. And I'm going to use my Post-it notes to just hold that die in place so that once I've got my F and 4 perfectly centered, that the die won't shift around. And then I am taking the area that is embossed by the Spellbinder, and I am going over it with the chalk marker again, so that it has more pop on the page. So here are the 4 photos I'm using, which are pictures of the cast members from this television show. And I'm going to start by adhering my photos to a piece of vellum. And the reason why is because I want the photos to be matted on that bright floral paper from the Sugar Chic collection. But these photos are so colorful that it's a little too much, so I'm going to use the vellum to just tone down the floral a little bit. So I'm just going to adhere the vellum straight to the floral and then just take it over to my trimmer and cut around it. I played with the idea of just tracing with my pencil where I needed to cut it, but it was just easier to glue it down and then trim it at my trimmer. And now we literally have Boys Over Flowers, which is the title of the show. So I have my floral paper, and it's not as intense as it was before. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get the glittered animal prints from the collection, and I'm going to start layering those behind the floral, starting with the zebra and then going with the leopard. And if you've seen the show, it makes more sense, but there's the fashion in this particular television show was really crazy, so I wanted to kind of capture that zaniness in the layout. Everything was very colorful and over the top, so it's my goal for this layout, is for it to be colorful and over the top. So I've cut this out of the collection. There was a sheet in the Sugar Chic pack that was kind of die cuts that you could hand cut out, and I cut them all out when I brought the pad home so that I could use them as die cuts, and that was one of them. So I'm just placing it there and then trying to figure out where I want my F4, and that scalloped border that I put down there I'm removing because I don't like it. And I've been playing with embellishments, and I just don't know what it is I don't like about the layout, and then I realize the patterns are blending together too much. And what I really want is some separation between them. So I just cut a bunch of 1/2-inch black cardstock strips, and I'm going to use those to tuck under the edges of the papers. And as soon as I start doing this, everything starts to pop, and I like it a lot better. And I stop moving things around and around and around on the page because I realize that I fixed my problem with the pattern paper. So I've just put tape on the back of the strips, and I'm just sticking them down. It's just as simple as that. So the next thing I'm going to do is start layering my embellishments. And again, these are all just, they came on a sheet in the collection. It was printed die cuts, and I just cut them all out. That's where they came from. So I glued that best friends to the top and went around it with a marker, and now I'm going to place my F4. But it was a little flimsy. The chalkboard paper is not very thick, so I just wanted to back it with some cardstock before I stuck it down, just so it would have be a little bit more solid on the page. And then I'm going to tuck it under the vellum so it's kind of behind the photos, but you can still read it. And now I'm just going to layer some little label stickers behind this photo. And then on top of the label, I'm going to layer some stars. This particular actor was this male lead of the show, so he's getting a star embellishment. And if you're wondering why I chose to scrapbook about a television show, you can scrapbook about anything. Different things impact your life in different ways at different times. And what's happening in pop culture is something that can be a memory for later. You know, I've heard my parents talk about coming home and watching this or that show every day after school. And so I think that entertainment is definitely something that's worth scrapbooking about if it's interesting to you. So now I'm going to embellish this other side. I added some labels to the top of the page to kind of fill in that area. And then I'm going to cut another label. It's meant to be a journaling spot, but I'm just going to use it. Well, I'm going to use it as a journaling spot, but I'm going to not use the whole thing. And then this banner, again, is just cut from the collection. I added some foam tape, and I'm inking around the edges. And then I'm going to pop it up on the bottom left side, right over that pink banner, or pink journaling spot. And then I'm just going to cut off what hangs off, and I can save that for use on another layout. And here I have another glittered label that I cut from the paper. And I'm just going to tuck that under there. I didn't like the pink label or pink journaling spot just sticking out all by itself, so I wanted to layer some other things there with it to give it some friends, I guess. So this is just another little piece from the collection. And now I'm going to use the Smitten stamp set from Mama Elephant, specifically the stamp with the two hands forming a heart. And I'm going to stamp that. By the way, this is one of the Martha Stewart stamp positioners. This is the first time I was using it, and I actually liked it quite a bit. I might get the bigger one next time I see it. This is a gesture this actor actually made in the show, so I thought it would be fun to put it in there, so I'm just going to include that over there. And then I'm just going to cut this ribbon, because again, that kind of goes in line with some of their crazier outfits that they wore in the show. They actually had cravats and neckerchiefs and stuff like that they wore. And so the best friends was looking a little plain, so I just got this little banner, again, just from the collection. I'm going to layer it back behind there. And then I wanted the animal print heart from that journaling spot, so I just cut it out. And then I did this off camera so you didn't see it, but then I cut out that pinked journaling spot and I saved it with my other die cut pieces so I can use it as a journaling spot later. So it's not totally ruined. Just as long as I tuck it under something, it'll be fine. So now I'm doing my title, and I wanted something glittered and I wanted something pink, so I went with the jewelry box font in pink, and I just put the title of the show, which is Boys Over Flowers, and the date that I started watching it, which I got from Netflix. Netflix keeps a record of when you watch stuff, so that was kind of handy. And I have a lot of journaling that I'm going to do about this. I actually do about 6 by 12 inches of journaling. That's going to go on the back, so I just put a very small sort of this is the gist of what's going on type of journaling on the front. Then I took a Studio Calico wood veneer and I covered it with Aquamarine Colorbox fluid chalk ink, and then I covered that with diamond stickles from Ranger. And then here's my big journaling piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a pocket on the back of the layout. So I just made a very basic pocket that this can slide in and out of. and then I'm going to put a photo tab on it with the same floral paper that's behind the photo, or file tab rather, and that's how you can pull the journaling in and out and read it, and you don't have to take the page out of the page protector to do so. So here's a close-up. You can see the tab up there. There's the photos, the stamping, all the little die cuts from the collection. Again, this is the Heidi Swapp Sugar Chic collection. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.